James Harden is a Brooklyn Net. I would say let's talk about it and do the intro, but nah, we gotta go no intro. This is my raw, uncut reaction to James Harden. The James Harden Blockbuster trade. I have the trade up on my screen right now. Man, I didn't watch any reactions. I didn't listen to anybody talk about this just yet. Maybe besides some tweets. I was literally in the car as this went down. And man, this trade is crazy. James Harden, man, he's my guy. You know, ASU alum. I'm currently at ASU. We actually went to the same boxing gym for a little bit. But damn, that's not important. But James Harden, man. I loved him when he first got traded to Houston. I was a big fan. Once D'Antoni came around, that's when, you know, the style changed, became very ISO dominant, the most like ISO dominant player in NBA history, basically, when you look at the numbers and the advanced stats. But I mean, let's look at this trade. Rockets getting Victor Oladipo from Indiana, Dante Exum. Not sure how he's doing these days. They get Kurucs, not bad, I guess. 3 Brooklyn unprotected first rounders in 2022, 2024, and 2026. 1 Milwaukee first rounder in 2022 unprotected. 4 Brooklyn first round pick swaps. Basically, they have Brooklyn's picks from next draft to 2027. Brooklyn's getting James Harden. They're losing Karras to Pacers. Pacers basically doing a LeVert for Oladipo swap, also getting a second rounder. And the Cavs are getting Jared Allen and Taurean Prince. If you like the Cavs, they got Andre Drummond, JaVale McGee. Drummond, I believe, is a free agent after this season. And I think he had a player option that he opted into because he's making like $27 million. He's not going to be back, obviously. Allen's going to be their center of the future. And McGee, who even knows or cares. But damn, I'm seeing people already anoint, I should say, the Brooklyn as the title favorites. Seeing Brooklyn in 5. And I don't know, man. I was never a big fan of the James Harden going to Brooklyn trade idea and package. I was more of a fan of him going to Philly. I thought him and Embiid would have been awesome. I thought Houston getting Ben Simmons in return, that'd be the obvious trade. I just feel like, my dad told me about this too, he's like, you know, like, do you want picks or do you want like someone, like, you know, like a sure shot in Ben Simmons? You know what he is? Still could be better if he ever gets a jump shot. And I don't know, man. It's only one ball. You got 3 heavy ISO players. We don't even know what's going on with Kyrie right now. It's almost like insurance, like if Kyrie just retires, because like, is that out of the realm of possibilities that he's just gone, just done playing basketball? Like, his situation's pretty weird, but let's just say he's there. So now you got Kyrie, Harden, Durant, Joe Harris probably playing the 3, and then you have Durant and Jordan. I just feel like this totally guts their bench. You lose LeVert, who Steve Nash is even saying is in that Manu Ginobili type of role. Like, that's a sexy name to it. And then you lose Jared Allen, who basically was their starting center, even though DeAndre would start the game. I think Allen would close out more. But now your bench is Landry Shamet, and I'm blanking on who else is on that bench. And I just don't see how this makes them better than the Lakers. Who's taking the last shot if you're Brooklyn? 2 minutes left. You know, you're down like 6. Like, who takes the shots? Like, who? Like, I would say Durant. Do you think Harden's gonna be cool with that? I mean, if we're getting the Harden from the old Houston days, like that play style where, you know, he has Jeremy Lin, Chandler Parsons, Dwight Howard, you know, and Kevin McHale was coaching, and he's like, you know, and he can be a little more off the ball. I mean, we thought he was gonna do that with Chris Paul. He didn't really do it. Thought we'd do that with Westbrook. Didn't really do it. Man, I kind of feel bad for Steve Nash. This is gonna be tough for him. First time head coach. Gonna have to, like, that's a lot of ego. I think another interesting thing is, like, I felt terrible for Steven Silas having to deal with this James Harden dilemma through the beginning of the season. Like, I just felt bad for him. Like, you know, he never really, like, because you just know he's hanging over his head. Like, every post-game question to him was going to be about James Harden. Like, is he playing? Practices, you know. Boogie and John Wall were saying stuff after this last game against the Lakers. Harden saying he gave everything he could. And, like, honestly, I've kind of soured on James Harden. Like, I was saying earlier, I was such a big fan of him. But this stuff that was going on, this last offseason, he's going to strip clubs and, you know, just all this stuff, no masks, like, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And you have a terrible game last night. He 16 shots for 16 points. I wasn't impressed. And you know, just he didn't want to be there, and I just don't like the whole like forcing your way out of a team situation like that. And like, yeah, he did maybe give his all to Houston in the last couple of years, but or his whole like Houston career, but I don't know, just really soured my taste on him. Now Houston, now their starting line would be like John Wall, Victor Oladipo, I'm assuming House, and then like Tucker and Wood with like Cousins on the bench and Eric Gordon. And I like that Houston team, to be honest. Obviously, not a championship team, obviously not. Probably like an 8th seed type team. And I'm pretty sure Oladipo is going to this is his contract year, so he's going to get paid. And it's like this is like kind of the face of the trade if you're Houston fans. Like, yeah, you're getting all these picks, but it's like there's no face to those picks. And they're Brooklyn picks. They're going to be late. I mean, who knows by 2027 what this Brooklyn team's looking like. But I don't know, man. I would have done the Simmons trade personally, but I'm not a GM. Getting Exum, that's nothing, for being honest. Karooks, he's fine, sure, okay. But I don't know, man. Doesn't do much for me if you're Houston. Like, who's the face of the team right now? Wood? John Wall? Cousins? Oladipo, I guess? It's interesting shit, man. I'm very curious to see how they look now. Like, I do like them now, to be honest, with getting rid of Harden. And now on the Pacers' perspective, basically just swapping out swapping out Oladipo for LeVert. Oladipo, it was no secret he kind of wanted out of Indiana. He wasn't even gonna go to the bubble until I think he was gonna lose like $1 to $3 million for not going. He's like, all right, I'll go, I'll play a little bit. He didn't do much. Then he was a decent start to the year. I mean, Indiana's been a really fun team. Like, Sabonis has become like one of my favorite players to watch. He smoked the Suns in that last game. The last game they played against Indiana, even though the Suns did get the dub. Shout out Mikal Bridges, 34 points. But man, I like this Pacers team now too. It's interesting to see. You know, they wanted to get that. I don't know if Oladipo was being like a locker room problem or nothing, or it was just like time for him to go. And then Jared Allen on the Cavs. I only got much to say besides what I already said. Center of the future. They got a young team. I do like some of their young pieces like Sexton, Garland, Allen, Osman, Kevin Porter Jr. if he plays this year. We'll see what's up with that. But yeah, man, crazy trade. The player empowerment era in its fullest right here. This is a crazy trade. This is one of the craziest trades I feel like I've seen. Like this many, 4 teams. Like last time we had a trade of this, not star player, but team-wise was like last season. Was like Covington got moved to the Rockets and Capella got moved to the Hawks and all that. But I'm trying to think of like the last time there was this crazy of a trade with like the magnitude of these players and this many teams. I can't think of it top of my mind. If somebody wants to put in the comments the last time they can remember. But it just smelled like Vince Carter Raptors vibes to me with this Harden situation, and they got a terrible package in return. I do think, in 2020 this is a better deal than that one for Toronto to get back from the Nets. I mean, we'll see what they do with these picks. We're really not going to know. Like, we won't know who won this trade until 2027, to be honest. Unless Brooklyn gets like 2 champions, even if they get a championship this year, let's say, which they could. Kevin Durant's been a dog this year. He just came off a 34 and 13 assist night. Had that dagger against Denver. He's been looking solid as hell. He's been looking amazing, honestly. I don't want to say solid, but amazing this year. And I like this Brooklyn team coming to the year. That's why I was kind of like worried of them to not make a trade. So I was like, I kind of like this team. They're kind of deep. Now you kind of got the bench. I'm not sure what they're going to be looking like. I mean, we'll see how this team looks. Hopefully they're good, man. I like Harden. I like KD. I like Kyrie. Spencer Dinwiddie, he really lucked out by getting hurt because I think he would have easily been involved somehow in this trade, but he lucked out. So you still got Dinwiddie, but he's out for the year, so he's not going to be much of a difference maker this season. And yeah, man, I just wanted to give my thoughts on this trade. Suns game tonight against the Hawks obviously got canceled. I'm honestly not, I'm not coming up with the idea of this prediction, but they're probably going to not cancel the season, but maybe do like a 1 to 2 week like hiatus to let teams kind of, recover from this COVID, all these postponing games. Like, you're already pushing back the season anyways. Like, I can't even count how many games have been postponed in the last week. So I think you just got to take a break, let guys recover from the ones who have COVID and just kind of go back into it. Maybe do some more breaks around the season. I was going to push back the end date, but what's the point if you just keep canceling games anyways? So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure when my next video on the Suns will be. I guess when they play again. They got smoked by the Wizards. I don't have much to say about that game. Bertans finally had a good game this season, and Beal was a dog. DeAndre Ayton, I said I was considering making a video about him. I still might, because he's been no bueno this year. When you get outplayed by Robin Lopez, I lose faith. Let's just say that. Anyways, those are my thoughts on this Blockbuster trade. And of course, man, stay sunny.